Over a year ago, employees at a snack food company in Bedford made a push to unionize, claiming poor working conditions and a need for better health care.
Now, former employees are speaking out. They allege the company used union-busting tactics, including wrongfully firing those in support of organizing. Olivia Bosser has more.
Mike McCreary was a maintenance technician at the organic snack company in Bedford. He says that, on paper, he was fired when the company tried to change his work schedule with no notice to a schedule he was unable to work. But McCreary alleges the company wanted to get rid of him for his efforts to unionize the factory due to what he calls ongoing mistreatment.
We wanted essentially to be able to rally against some of the managers, upper echelon managers that were verbally abusive and, would overstep their boundaries, put their hands on people, that kind of thing. It was more, that was more what we wanted, like a safe, comfortable workspace.
McCreary says the union would have demanded consistent scheduling, a safer working environment, and better health care, something Kara Murphy, who was pregnant at the time, says brought her to the union after the company changed health insurance providers partway through her pregnancy.
They were just like, you straight up don't qualify for short-term disability or maternity leave. You'll be unpaid if you go on maternity leave.
Murphy had been a production technician at the organic snack company, but was allegedly fired for being late too many times.
I was also experiencing morning sickness in this pregnancy, and I had a note about that as well. So when they started writing me up for that, I was like, I'm sick in the mornings. It's kind of hard for me to get moving and stuff. And then eventually they had wrote me up enough times for it that they decided that here's your termination letter.
But says her termination came shortly after she joined union meetings. She says she struggled to get accommodations in the workplace for pregnancy-related issues. Both allege the company took steps to dissuade workers from supporting the union.
So Mike and a few other people had posted some union information binders in the break room, and I had actually caught a member of management shoving them into the lockers to hide them. So that was a pretty obvious sign that they were anti-union.
The vote for unionization ultimately failed 31-26, according to National Labor Relations Board records. McCreary claims the vote failed due to intimidation tactics used by the company.
The night before the vote, the CEO brought his dad in, who owns the company or the building or something like that, and did some interrogations with people. And that was enough to spook everyone off. We were so close, but, it ended up working.
And says that further union efforts were ultimately stomped out after a layoff by the company following a union meeting.
It was pretty much over. If they held a vote the next day, we would have won hands down. They returned to work and an entire shift got fired. All production got fired. A bunch of other people got fired.
Mark Thaler is the CEO of the organic snack company. He says the claims that the company attempted to stop the union are false.
As a company, we don't have a position for a union or against a union. We respect the right of our employees to choose whether they want to be represented by a union or not. My personal view is that things are always better for our team members and the folks that work here if we can have a direct relationship with our employees, but that obviously is their right.
And says the former employees speaking out against the company is no more than a smear campaign by those that had supported the union.
In the context of the NLRB, that when charges are brought, that's the equivalent of somebody filing a complaint. So we believe that we followed the law throughout the election.
Those charges are for wrongful termination, changes in terms of employment, coercive statements, and coercive actions. They were brought against the company in 2023, and this case is still active. The company is also facing a federal lawsuit for wrongful firing. Reporting in Bedford, Olivia Bosser, WTAJ News.